By not being shook and understanding that objections is usually only a reaction, you're able to actually let it die down and just pause. So I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This hack alone is worth the investment of the ebook, the audiobook in this course. Once you make your offer, you decide to make your offer, you decide to force the sale, right? You think they're a good fit, you think we can solve their problems. If you structure the call the correct way, you're genuine, you're sincere, you're skeptical, you ask the hard questions, and you get them to do every step that I outlined on this call, there will not be any objections. It's gonna be a matter of, do we do it or do we not do it? And if we don't do it, it's not because let me think about it, or I gotta talk to my husband, my wife, or some of those stalling objections, right? It's gonna be simply, hey, I don't have the funds, or real reasons why they cannot move forward right now. And let me just say that again so you understand. If you follow my instructions that I laid out, you will not have objections. You will have problems to solve. You will have real legitimate problems on why they cannot move forward. And then from that point, you're not solving objections, but you're becoming a problem solver and figuring out how we can help them get the money. Can we break it up into payment plans? Can we do financing? Is there a business partner that they can consult, right? Is there some other options where they can put deposits down and then we could get them started on a lower product and upgrade them slowly? Is there a way that we could talk to whoever needs to be talked to, craft and position a deal and go ahead and get it signed and stamped today? But obviously it's sales, and at times you are gonna get objections, point blank period. Even if you do everything 100% correct down to the T, there's still that rare chance that you're gonna get objections, and you're gonna actually have potential clients that aren't being 100% transparent, 100% honest with you, and they're just trying to stall, and they're trying to find ways on not to actually move forward right now. Because I will tell you this is key. People are more scared, more nervous, more frightened by actually making a decision than they are to spend money. People aren't scared to spend money. People are scared to make a decision, because once they make a decision, then their whole world has to change. Their routines, who they hang around with, what they watch, who they talk about. So remember that always. But if objections do arise, then you just simply need a pause. 90% of objections can be handled with pure silence. Silence is so powerful. A lot of people are taught to solve objections with feel, felt, found. Like, oh yeah, I know exactly how you feel, man. I felt the same way when I got presented this opportunity. I wanted to think about it, but then I found out that thinking about it for too long, I might miss out on the opportunity. So how about we just do this now? You're always on the defense. You're always countering. You're always trying to come back with a reason on why they're wrong and you're right. And that's an old sales tactic. People are always trying to fire back and know exactly what to say for each and every objection. And I just don't believe in it. I believe in keeping everything super simple, keeping everything super genuine, and more of a friendly conversation. 90% of objections I found can be solved with a simple silence and with a simple pause. Let me give you a quick example. So yeah, JaQil, everything sounds good, man, but I just gotta think about it, Yeah, because I got so much going on at work. I actually just got some extra hours, and I just want to make sure that, going all into this, I'm committed. So I want you guys to see kind of what I did there. The objection was, I got to think about it. Most people would have been like, what do you got to think about, right? Or most people would have been like, oh yeah, I understand how you feel. You got to think about it. Everybody needs to think. Everybody needs to make wise decisions. Everybody, right? What did I do? I just sit silently. I pause. I let it die. I let it breathe. And what did the potential client that I was pretending to be keep doing? They kept talking, and they actually told me what the real issue was. It wasn't that they had to think about it. It was that they wasn't sure that they would have the time to be able to put into the program and get the full maximized results because they've been a lot more busier at work than they usually have. That's not an objection. That's a legitimate problem. You understand what I'm saying? Don't just fire off and try to overcome the objections. Literally just sit silently. I promise you guys, I promise you, it sounds so simple. It is. It's so simple that it's kind of funny. I spent all this money, thousands and thousands of dollars on books, programs, conferences on how to overcome objections, on how to close the deal, right? Lo and behold, I was getting my own way because I was trying to figure out all these tactics. I promise you, if you sit silently and just pause, they are going to keep talking and they're going to go deeper into why they said that objection. And they're pretty much going to tell you if it's legitimate or if it's BS. And 8 times out of 10, it is BS. Why? Because objections are simply reactions that have no logical thought formulated with it. Again, just pause. Now, if you pause and after about 5 to 10 seconds, there's this awkward long silence, right? Then you're simply gonna do 4 things. You're gonna question it, you're gonna acknowledge it, you're gonna isolate it, right? Kind of to an island, that's how I remember it, isolate it out to an island, and then come up with a strategic solution based off the first objection we have. So I just gotta think about it. We sit silent, we pause. I promise you 85, 90, maybe even 95% of the time, they're gonna continue speaking after that pause. But say they don't, because it happens sometimes. Okay, so you gotta think about it. All right, yeah, I get it. Thinking, is definitely important, right? I mean, this is a huge decision that we're making. This is gonna drastically affect your business, your family. We definitely want you 100% committed and 100% clear-minded coming into this thing. So thinking is good. So I questioned it. So, okay, so you need to think about it. Just to, question, then I acknowledge it. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's very legitimate because anything they say, for the most part, is accurate, right? Not because it's true, but because it's true from their perspective. So I want to acknowledge that there's a concern, right? I want to acknowledge their perspective, their point of view. Yeah, I get it. People need to think about these things, and we definitely don't want anyone coming in without putting extensive thought and seriousness into making this decision, right? So now I'm giving them the power. There's no disagreement. Then I'm going to isolate it. I'm going to kind of isolate it to an island. I was a DB, played corner, so I always think of things like an island, like isolation, because they always used to have me one-on-one with the best receivers on the island, right? So isolated. Thinking about it, is that the only thing preventing you from moving forward? Is just that you want to think and make sure this is the best solution for you? What I'm doing is I'm isolating that objection. I'm making sure that's literally the only thing. As big profit enrolling professionals, we do understand that typically their reactions, there's more underneath that objection that they're really saying, but we're gonna just straight up ask them. We're gonna isolate that objection. Is that the only thing holding you back? Is there anything else that you may not be telling me, like financial concerns, support casts? Is it the way the program or the service is delivered? Like, is there anything else you're not telling me? Isolate that one objection. What's the one real objection is what you're trying to find out. And then you just give a strategic solution. Now you just help them overcome that solution. I'm strategically trying to solve the problem so we could decrease the time it takes to go ahead and get them enrolled, right? Because we know when time is added, then the commitment usually decreases. So we want to decrease the time and increase the commitment.